Hey guys, welcome back to episode 6 of That's Lauren Podcast. I am Lauren Miller. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. But if you are new, let me give you the rundown. I'm 18. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to school for political science, Georgia State University. I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm a Zodiac Sagittarius. There we go. I think that's everything I always say. If you're black, if you're a girl, if you're a teen, if you're a Christian, something here for you. I feel like I knocked that out pretty quickly. I don't know if that's what I always say, but that felt right. Guys, so before we even get into what we're talking about today, I just want to say, if I sound stuffy, I am recovering from a cold. Music this week, honestly, how can I say this in the most not weird way? People ain't really been dropping the records, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, because I've been under the weather, I didn't have really even listen to music in general, but I'll just say my bishop, my pastor, Worship and Justice, William Murphy. There we go. So we'll say that album. We'll say The Storm is Passing Over by Bishop Younger. There we go. And then we gotta find one more. What have I been listening to? I really don't know. Let me look at my Apple Music and see what it says I've been listening to. Oh, see, yeah, I'm a little ratchet. Ain't no way that's what I was listening to. I mean, that probably is the truth. It says See Some by Lotto. There's no way I listened to that last. I mean, no, there's definitely a way, because that's my song. So we'll say Inside by really, what I've been listening to is Inside My Head by Sugar. Sugar spelled with the S-U-G-R. That's, yeah. And then like a question mark. But, yeah, I've been listening to that. We're not gonna say Lotto. Sorry, Lotto. I love you. But, yeah, no. This is a clean and wholesome podcast. So, yeah. Y'all, two things before we get into this week's, topic. Number one, y'all, I don't know if I can tell or not. I really want y'all's feedback on this. The last two podcasts, because the way I recorded them and the time I recorded them, they actually had not been edited. Those have been raw. Like I recorded it and put it on Podbean and was like, distributed. Like, I'm a very spontaneous person. Most times I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about before I talk to y'all. This, like I said, this was created, I don't even know what day this was created, because I genuinely, I told y'all, I never ever do it this way. So, ooh, you heard that? The devil just busy. I think I recorded this. I think I did this maybe Wednesday or Thursday. And I was like, I either want it to be called Roots or Deep Roots, and thought it had. No, before I get into the podcast, y'all, I got a new therapist. I absolutely love her. We're gonna talk about her a little later because she's also important to the story. But anyway, I knew that I wanted to name it Deep Roots or Roots. And the thought behind it was, I was talking about a certain emotion or trauma, whatever. And I was just like, the thought that I had, I was like, everything has a base, everything has a root, everything has a starting point. Whether that's emotion, whether that's a habit, whatever it is, everything has a root, everything has a cause, everything has a start. And so I was like, that would be cool to dig deep into the positive and negative roots that are in our lives. So whether that's generational curses, whether that's money habits, whether that's sleeping habits, whether that's what you eat, whether what you wear, how you talk, trauma, emotional state, mental health, whether it's relationship with your mother, whether it's your height, everything has a root, everything has a base, everything has a story, everybody has a background. And so I was like, ooh, that'd be so cool to dive into, because I want to understand this and that and all that kind of stuff. And then literally, y'all, literally, I was sitting in the kitchen, and my earlier this week, it was literally the same day I created the graphics. So I want to say maybe like Wednesday. And I had said something about a certain situation. I can't really, this is so funny because the story that really made it come about, I really can't talk about deep, description, but long story short, I was talking to my mom about something, and I was being a brat, and I felt entitled to my mom's space and all that kind of stuff. And my aunt was pressing me. She was like, "Why? Like, why?" And this is the exact word she said. I said, "I don't know." She said, dig deep." And I was like, and I think it came off because in the moment I was just like, no, I don't know. Like I got tired of saying it, but for me, I think it was a moment of shock because I already wanted to talk about it, but I was kind of unsure. And the fact that I made the graphic out of nowhere, that was kind of made me feel a little way about it. It's the fact that she said that. First of all, I didn't want to talk about it in general, but also I think for me, I was taken aback because I'm like, yo, like I was just talking about that, like. Wednesday, so mind you, I told you that I created the graphic Wednesday, the Deep Roots graphic Wednesday early that morning. The aunt said dig deep in the conversation I had. And then Thursday I had therapy with my new therapist, which I absolutely love and adore. Shout out to her. Still my second. But yeah, so, and then she said it, and I was just like, yo, this is like confirmation. She said, well, everything has a, what'd she say? She said everything has a cause in the background. From dig deep to everything has a root, to everything has a cause, to all of that, it was just like, okay, this is clearly what I'm supposed to talk about. This is clearly what I'm supposed to talk about on the podcast. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I keep talking about it, I keep saying it. And again, as y'all know, what I'm talking about, I am never an expert on. I'm just giving my personal opinion. I'm just talking to y'all as I work through my own life and try to better myself and my mental health. So yeah, when I think of everything has a root and a deep root or a cause and all that, what comes to my mind is that wherever you are, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally, everything has a start. I've already said that about 19 times. So yeah, everything has a start. Everything has a root. Everything has a base. And so in my mind, what that means is, so I'll use myself as an example. I'm really tall. If you never met me in person, I think it's hilarious when people meet me for the first time when they know me from social media, because like we're DMing as friends and you're like, oh girl, cute selfie. I'm like, oh girl, no, you have a cute selfie. And y'all like, oh my God, we're all girlfriends. And then y'all see me in person like, okay, I'm 6 feet tall. So I'm not 5'2", not 5'3". No. I'm past the fives. I'm 6 feet tall even. And so, growing up tall, I've always been tall my whole life. People always ask you, how are you tall? Why are you tall? Is your mom tall? Is your dad tall? And first of all, my mother is 5'5.5". So I guess she's technically tall for a woman. My dad is 6 feet tall, even we're the same height, period. But that's where I get my height from. That's my root. You know what I'm saying? So everything, and although that is minuscule and that's, not very meaty, if you will, or full of wisdom, that's where it started. The same way that so for me, I was listening. I follow a lot of people on social media, like a lot of pastors and things like that. And I can't remember who it is. Who it was. But as I've shared with y'all previously on the pod, if you when it comes to faith, I got that. When it comes to this and that, Christianity, like I feel like I'm okay. Like we cool. When it comes to this, like I got you. My thing is unforgiveness. I don't know what devil's after me, y'all. It is so hard for me. Like, it is so hard for me. And I think, there's no excuse for it, but I also think that as I, do more studying to my Enneagram, stuff like that, I am, okay, when it comes to emotional things, and put it like that, when it comes to emotional things and dealing with people relationally, I'm very intentional. And so I think the way I function and move and maneuver through life is that everybody and everything is intentional. And so if you hurt my feelings, you did it intentionally. If you betrayed me, you did it intentionally. If you hurt my feelings or spoke to me a certain way, you did it intentionally. And so I think this, again, y'all, I am not saying it's healthy. I'm not in any way saying that I am correct. I'm just giving y'all the truth. And so I think for me, when I feel hurt, betrayed, whatever, it feels very personal. It feels like a direct attack, and it feels like I'm getting revenge. Again, I'm not saying it's healthy for everybody who loves to. That's not healthy. Clearly, that's why we're talking about it. That's why I'm in therapy, people. Okay. But yeah, I think in my mind, there's for every action there's an equal but opposite reaction. So you betray me. oh, you best believe it. Your whole bloodline about to fall off the face of this earth. Like, that's how my mind works. Like, like you, like, and you know, sometimes I do a really good job of, and I get better, and you know, but it's hard for me. It's really, unforgiveness in general is hard for me. And what I found out is it's, the closer you are to me, the harder it is. So I saw a post from the guy. That's what I was talking about before I told y'all about that. And he was like, people who struggle with unforgiveness have a struggle with forgiving themselves. And I said, I said, wow. And then it leads me to what I want to talk about today. And when I see people post stuff like that, it doesn't offend me. That's my struggle. That's my, some people are just deep. That's my daily cross. And you know, I'm not doing all that, but you know, like that's my weakness. That's what I deal with. That's my soft spot. That's where I need improvement. If you were perfect, we wouldn't need Jesus. If you were perfect, you wouldn't need help. So all of us have an area where we can improve. But yeah. So he said people who deal with unforgiveness have a struggle to unforgive themselves. And I said, I think that in the past, and for me, even in the present, when I see people say things like how other people treat you is the way that they treat themselves, I think that's absolute crap. I think it can reflect the relationship people have with themselves, but I feel like the way people treat you is the way you allow them to treat you. It has nothing to do with the way they treat themselves. But anyway, but the reason why that this is even relevant is because the thought of not being able to forgive myself, I feel like that directly affects my relationship with God, because I feel like, and this is me being transparent. I feel like I could relate to that, because whether it's a sin or something that I feel like I could have did better, or something that I'm like, you know, this is whack. I think that it causes me sometimes, my relationship to God, to be more religious than spiritual. And I saw a post, like, it was like, religion says I made a mistake, my father's gonna kill me. Spirituality says I made a mistake, let me go tell my father. And I said, oh my God, like, yeah, that's so me. I think sometimes when I get in these little funks, but sometimes when I get inconsistent with prayer, inconsistent with whatever, and I find myself in this little loop of like feeling a little distant from God, I think it's because that is true. It's like, because I don't see myself as forgiven, because I don't see myself the way you see me. I don't see myself as a son, daughter, whatever you know. I'm not about to argue about that. It's like I go in from a posture of like, I'm like an orphan. I'm sorry. Like, God, please, you know, like I know I did this, but you know, okay, like, you know, instead of like, look, you gotta help me. This is what happened. And I said, oh my God, like, I wonder how much my struggle with unforgiveness affects my other relationships. Like, y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, you know, some people hold a grudge, and it's like they hold on to it, like, to the point where like they're like killing themselves. Y'all, no, my grudge, like, it's like I don't know how to explain it. There's a planner inside of my brain somewhere that was writing everybody's name down, what they did, what time they did it, and it's like I won't even like I'm not thinking about you until I see you. I'm like, oh, you did it on July 3rd, 2019. Like, I can pinpoint to you exactly what it was, and it's like people are like, you feel miserable? I'm like, no. Like, I don't think about it, but I do hold the grudge, and I do have a struggle with unforgiveness. And I think that, I think also what it deals with unforgiveness is really just a problem of vulnerability, which I've told y'all that as well. That's a big struggle for me, because vulnerability is trust. Vulnerability is confidence. Vulnerability is, to me, I'm not saying this is healthy. I know it's not right, but I'm telling you how it feels to me. It feels like weakness. Like, I'm allowing you back in my space. I'm allowing you to hurt me again. I'm allowing you to get a second chance. That's what forgiveness and vulnerability feels like to me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write it down to my therapist. I wrote it down in my notes, which I never do. I wrote it down Wednesday. I said, everything has a root, whether known or unknown. And then I said darkness allows things to grow and get deeply rooted, planted, and allows them to get strong. And so I think, I don't want to deter from what we're talking about, but I think when people talk about addiction in particular, we'll just start there because it's on my mind. When we think of addiction, we think of alcoholism, we think of addicted to weed, we think of addicted to coke, we think addicted to maybe sex and you have a bunch of kids or whatever. But there are plenty of other addictions that are just silent. And to me, the silent addictions, the silent struggles are more deadly than the loud ones. Because anything that you allow to be hidden and planted and in darkness, you're allowing it to grow. A plant, you're never going to put the plant in the sun, it's going to magically grow. No, it has to go under. It has to grab its roots. It has to get strong. It has to be unseen. Let's use a tree. And let's say that miraculously trees no longer had to go underground to bear roots. You just put them on the ground, they grew real tall, real big. And if there's a tornado, if there's a hurricane, if there's a natural disaster, really windy, whatever, and that tree has no roots, that tree has no strength underground, the tree's gonna knock over. Trees break, snap, and under extreme pressure all the time with deep, strong roots. But the deeper, the bigger, the longer the roots, the more likely that tree is to survive whatever storm. And so I feel like the same way that it applies positively with plants and all that kind of stuff is the same way that it applies negatively with secrets and addiction and our relationships and in emotional and physical and mental health. So for example, alcoholism is hard to hide sometimes, and it's very visible for most people, and you can't really hide it. Whereas you're addicted to lust, and it's just allowed to grow, and it's allowed to flourish, and it's allowed to get deep roots, and roots go down and they spread. And they have time, they have age, and it's strong. So when it's time to cut it off, it's harder to cut off. When the wind comes, it withstands the wind, aka the challenges in your life. It withstands the years in the different seasons, aka it stands the test of time in your life, because you've allowed it to take root and get deep. And I think the same thing applies for me in unforgiveness. There's a root to it, whether it was being lied to, or I haven't done my due diligence in finding out where that comes from. But I think that the thought that anything in darkness grows is absolutely true. And so I feel like even mentally, like depression, people think depression is freaking gaining a bunch of weight and sitting in a dark room, in a black hoodie, rocking back and forth, eating ice cream. Like, people think, and I don't even want to go as extreme as depression, because that depression is very real, and I don't want to tamper with that or even talk about it without having the accurate information. But just sadness in general, extreme sadness. I looked at my camera roll. Some of the saddest days of my life are some of the days where I have the cutest pictures on Instagram. I mean, the selfies with the most likes are the days I have to work. I know y'all, not literally. I'm not saying if you go to my Instagram and you actually, some of them, yeah, for sure. Like some of, I'll just give y'all an example for one day. I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's very personal, but my senior pictures, that was one of the worst days of my life. Hands down. Definitely not like a top 3, but definitely the top 15, 30, somewhere up there. My pictures are cute. My hair was cute. Makeup was cute. Outfit was real, my personality. I felt comfortable in it. But boom, slay queen. You go as you should, girl. You do it. And I literally cried before I walked in the photo shoot, and I walked in after the photo shoot, and those are some of the cutest pictures I have on my phone. And I'm just like, oh my God. But to y'all, To be sad, I had to be in a big black hoodie and cry and say, guys, I'm really sad right now. Some of the best days of my life, I have no pictures, videos, nothing of it. And some of the worst days of my life, the absolute worst days, I am smiling, cooking, entertaining you all, singing, being goofy Lord that you all know and love, and I feel like trash. That first of all, that's a fact. That is a fact. Because it's like putting on a mask. It's like performing a circus show for y'all. Well, again, this is me speaking personally on my experiences, but absolutely, like, y'all see people smiling on social media and assume that, like, oh, no. I've smiled on social media, posted videos, and been miserable. That's facts. Like, that's a big reason why I started the pod, because I wanted to be honest with you all. I wanted to be transparent with you all. I wanted you all to get a glimpse of the real me, and just get a glimpse of a person who's around your age, or maybe who's a little younger or a little older, and give you a different perspective on certain things, and for you to just get the real honest truth. Like, there are things, I cannot wait till we get to episode 50, because I really want to talk about something, and I really want to share something with you all that I feel like will help a lot of people, but I want it to be special when I talk about it, so I'm gonna hold off on that one for a long time. But there's all kinds of stuff that people are dealing with, whether it's anxiety. People think anxiety is screaming and crying, breaking into tears, but some people, that's the way they express themselves. I know people who have anxiety who you wouldn't even think have anxiety. Like, real life mental like this is real stuff. This is, and another thing that makes me, I almost said piss me off, but I don't want to say that. I already said it. Oops. Makes me so mad. I might edit that out. I don't know. If y'all are hearing this, I didn't edit it out, and I said what I said. Well, I think one thing that I think when you see people explode and yell and go off, people assume, oh my God, they're so mad. They're so mad. They're just so mad, and they just need. Some of the maddest people are laughing and smiling. First of all, I laugh and cry when I'm upset. Like, it is insane. It is a show to see. Anyway, but I feel like people assume people who are going off and yelling and acting out and being the loudest, that means that they're going through the most. That means that they're dealing with the most anger, and most times it's not the case at all. Like, there's somebody who has much more pent up anger and aggression, and they haven't exploded yet, or they haven't said anything, or they deal with it in a different way. But because you all assume that whatever you see is just reality, no. I really want to do a part 2 to this, because this topic can go in so many different ways. So this is definitely going to be a series. I've already decided it. I'm not gonna say that, some people are deep. I'm in a season of. I'm not gonna say that. Like, I'm a church girl, but we cool over here, okay? But I will say is that there are times where I feel like I am hidden, and not just like emotionally. Like there are literally times where I feel like I am invisible. And not in a way that's like I hate anybody. It's just anybody's fault. Like I don't feel like it's like a hate or anything. I feel like it's strategic. Like, there's, for some reason that's out of my control, sometimes I feel like I am invisible, or I'm hidden, or it's not my time yet. And I think that people preach and about, it's not that you be patient and wait, and it's not just it, and it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Because patience requires, I thought about this morning in the kitchen. This is crazy that it's all coming out now. Patience requires trust. And I think that a lot of times if someone having a problem with patience, it has nothing to do with patience. It has everything to do with trust and confidence in you and their ability and whatever. So if you think, your child, they're impatient, they don't wait for their food. No, it's a lack of trust that my need is not going to get met, or, my partner, that they're not patient, they're calling. It's a lack of trust, it's a lack of confidence. I think to wait and to be patiently waiting and to be still, I think that requires a level of trust and confidence in that person or thing or circumstance. And trust is hard. Trust is vulnerability. And we just talked about vulnerability in my life. And I know that some of you can relate to me in that area. So that's it. It's insane. It's absurd. It's like sometimes being patient is hard. Sometimes I don't want to be patient. Sometimes you see people doing things that you know you can do. Sometimes you see people doing things that you know you can do better. Sometimes you want to contribute to what they're doing. And again, it's not about competition, because I feel like that's a whole different story. You know, it's not about competition, but there are times when a great movement is going on and you want to contribute, or you want to feel important in that, or, you know, you feel like you can, you know, some of you do feel like you can do it better, or you feel like you can do the same level of work or excellence that person did. And it's like, you know, whether if you believe in God is God, or if you don't, then I don't know what to tell you, but something is telling you, like, you know, no, I'll be patient, or something's not allowing you to go forward, whether it's intuition, whether it's God's hand, whether it's people around you, whether it's the voices in your life. And sometimes it can be hard, because it's just like I'm ready, like, I feel like I'm ready, like, I feel like I'm ready, I feel like I've done my due diligence, I feel like, you know, if you're a Christian, maybe it's, I feel like I've been praying more, I feel like I've been doing my word, I feel like I've been doing this, I feel like I've been walking it out, I feel like I have the fruit of the Spirit on my side, like, you know, you may be woo woo woo, and it's like, nah, like, just sit still, just be patient. It's like, what? Like, huh? Like, I'm ready, like, put me in the game, coach. Like, come on. Like, you know, look, I've been faithful over a few things. Like, come on. Nah, be patient. That's where I feel like I am right now. Well, not all the time, but definitely there have been times. There have been times recently where I feel like, nah, be patient. Like, that's why I feel like somebody's, but nah, like, shh, be quiet, don't say nothing. And I'm like, but I know I can shh. Or there was a situation that I knew I could solve the issue. Like, we should do this to relieve this. And he was like, no, like literally be quiet. Like, this is not your time to speak. They're gonna figure it out. You just sit back and just be quiet and just follow. Just follow. Do you know who I am? Lord, you telling me to just follow? Like, who do you think I am? I'm confused. Like, just follow. Like, look, let me stop. But no, for real, like, sometimes it's hard. I don't want to trust. I don't want to. I want to rely on my own understanding. I want to rely on my, like, I want everything to be figured out. And in terms of being the planted thing, I'm ready to be seen. I'm ready for the sun shine. And I think, ooh, okay, Lord. I think sometimes in terms of what we just talked about, in terms of being hidden and all that kind of stuff, I think maybe that we feel like we're ready for the sunshine and the spotlight, but with that also comes rain. And so maybe in the wind and all the things that you don't have to go through when you're under. Like, people, you know, like, yes, you're being hidden to make you and build you up and make you stronger, make you grounded and rooted. And, you know, when I say grounded and rooted, people think we're thinking plants, we're using the analogy of plants, but think about your real life. Plant it in your morals, plant it in the way you treat people, plant it in, you know, what you'll accept, what you won't accept, and all that kind of stuff, in your mental state and all that. But yeah, I think we get planted, and we think we're ready to be showcased. We think we're ready to be paraded around town and be praised, and like, oh, look at my leaves, look at me, look at this new song, or look at this podcast I have, look how good, look at my new girl, look at my new boo, look at this new church I just did, look at how many numbers I did on Instagram, look at this new live I did, look at this new, look. And sometimes he's like, nah, like, don't worry, be patient. No, it's not your time. And so I think that again, when you're in that space, or you feel like you're in that place where you're being hidden or buried and you're being rooted down, you're ready for the light, but you're not. But what you don't see is that you're not ready for the wind. What you don't see is that you're not ready for the rain. What you don't see is that, yes, when you come out, there's light and there's air and there's space to breathe. But what you don't see is that when you're seen, the people who celebrate you can see you, and the people who also are rooting for your demise and who are opposing you can also see you. The enemy, your prey, can also see you. The people preying on you can also see you. The enemy can also see you. Adversity can also see you. So yes, the light can hit you. Woohoo! Sunshine, air, space, yay! Guess what? In terms of our analogy, them rabbits, them coyotes, whoever else, the little boy with his shoes running with his mom in the grass, they can also see the plant too. And so sometimes being hidden is safer. It's not as fun. It's not as entertaining. It doesn't get as much praise. It's not as publicized on social media. But maybe it's safer for me to be hidden right now. Maybe I'm not ready for the season change. That could be another thing. Maybe I'm not ready to shed. Maybe I'm not ready to lose my leaves and then grow and gain them back. And maybe right now I need consistency. I just need to be in the darkness. There's some of you who are like that. And then you have the other ones. Dealing with things in the dark, allowing, again, things in the dark grow. Just because you're hidden doesn't mean you're not growing. Just because other people can't see your progress does not mean that there isn't progress. In the same way, just because people can't see your pain does not mean that there's not pain there. It works in both. It works in the positive and the negative. That's just how life is. So, to you all that are in the dark and you feel like you're ready to pop out, be patient. Be patient. Your time is gonna come and it's gonna be ready for you. It's gonna be just for you. Nobody's gonna be able to do what you do when you do it. Be patient. Everything's not ready yet. Be patient. It's hard. It's harder said than done. I think I'm ready. I'm qualified. I know I'm more than qualified. I'm more qualified than he and she and them. It's not your turn yet. When it's your turn, it'll be designated for you. And I think while you're waiting, do your darnest and do your best not to be bitter, and do your best to celebrate all those around you. So that way, when it's your turn, you can bank in on that honor that you gave everybody else around you when it was their turn. The same love and honor and respect that you give everybody else, that you then can command it back. So be faithful over this season. Whatever it is, learn those lessons, take it in, because there'll be times when you're seen and sometimes you need a break and you can't undo it. I'm sure there are times when the season changed, trees wished that their branches could get some warmth underground. It's like, well, we out here now. You know what I mean? So steward the season well. That's you. And then the others, silent things grow, and things grow in the dark. Things have to be brought to light. Things have to be brought to light. Things have to be brought to light. You can't see the enemy in the darkness. You can't see in the dark. You can't make rational decisions in the dark. It has to come to the light. Whether that's an accountability partner, your pastor, your youth group, your best friend. If there's something you're struggling with, if there's something that's challenging you, whether it's mental, whether it's, spiritual, whether it's a sin, whether it's, I'm just sad, or whatever it is and it's in the dark, you're allowing it. The same way positive things can grow in the dark, as can negative things. You're allowing it to fluster and grow without anybody being able to hold you accountable and to help you out. That's why depression is so dangerous. Suicide is so dangerous, because it's not bright and loud. Y'all think that the biggest danger is not those who are getting drunk and doing all that in front of us. Like, that's almost, I don't want to say it's better, but it's easier to aid and help because I can see it. You can't see sadness. You cannot see depression. You can't see anxiety. I can see you holding this blunt, but I can't see you, feeling dead inside. I can't. So, again, if you're supposed to be planted, stay where you at. If you're struggling and you need to bring something to light, let's go. Let's go. y'all know me. I am all for feeling your feels and being in touch with your emotions. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to pull yourself out and fight. And it's hard, and it sucks, and it hurts, and it's embarrassing, and it's sad. You gotta do what you gotta do. I would never forget the day I had to admit to my family, hey, yeah, by the way, I have anxiety, so like, this is kind of why I'm acting this way. I'm not crazy. Yeah. I was embarrassed. What? I'm embarrassed to this day to even talk about it. Like, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Everything you see. Shameless plug. There's a song called Blue Moon. Laura Miller said, everything you see, you can't believe. Anyway, but yeah, like, I was embarrassed. Stuff like that. Like, even to this day, like, I'm not as transparent as I could be with my family. And I'm sure if I was more transparent, that a lot of things would probably run smoother and be easier for them to understand as well for me to understand. But it's just like, it's embarrassing. It's hard. It's tough. It's vulnerable. It's too much. Sometimes it feels like nobody's gonna understand me, and you don't want to be judged. And especially if you feel like me, I'm an Enneagram 3. I'm big on achievements and being seen as successful and as strong as a warrior. You don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as a liability. Like, you want to be an asset. I want to be an asset. I want you to be able to rely on me. I want you to be able to count on me. I don't want you to have to think about my mental health. I got my own mental health, and it's unhealthy. So if you're that person or those people, I understand you. I really do. Like, no, y'all, for real. I really understand you. Like, it is hard. It's hard to open up. It's hard to be honest. It's hard to not only acknowledge, but accept the position that you're in. Hey, I'm dealing with this for this X amount of years, and this is hard. Again, it's easier to see you having sex and having a baby. It's hard to see somebody like me who has unforgiveness. That's hard to see. It's in the dark. It grows fast, strong, deeper, has strong roots. It's gonna take longer to cut down. Just because we can see other people's fruit, just because we can see what's going on, that means nothing. Honestly, we should be more concerned about the people and things that we cannot see. I did not think I was going to go here today, but that's where it went. Thank y'all for rocking with me. We have to do a part 2. I feel like I kind of was all over the place because there's just so much I want to talk about. Like, there's just so much. Just in summary, everything has a root. I have therapy again, my therapist Friday, so I'm going to talk to her about unforgiveness. And hopefully by the time I talk to y'all again, maybe we'll have a solution to see not to see where it is, because it might take some work to really figure out where it started, but we'll start digging. At least that's y'all's homework for this week. I have a couple assignments for y'all to do. Number 1, start digging. Everything has a root, everything has a start, everything has a base. Let's figure out where it starts, and not just negative things. The positive things are easier, so I think sometimes I skip over them, but positive too, like you're really happy and you're really nice to everybody. Where does that come from? Some of y'all, the joy of the Lord. Well, then there you go. Some of y'all, I've been taking more time for myself, and I've been walking, and that's why I've been able to be because I have the space. Maybe that's your truth. Okay, boom. And then again, you know how life is, the negative. So for me, it'll be, hey therapist, this is what's going on. Let's start doing the work to figure out where this came from. Again, y'all, because it's in the dark, because it's rooted, and because it's planted, the roots are deep. It's gonna take some work to dig it up and get it out, right? And then more homework for all of you that you're in a season where you were. I hate the word season. Ill. If you feel like sometimes you're being planted, or you're just being hidden, or you're just being covered, steward it well. Celebrate somebody whose time it is to be seen. It may be hard. It may require you to be big girl, big boy, but you got it. You got it. I believe in you. You got it. For those of you who have things growing in the dark, let's slowly start turning that light switch on. Let's slowly start turning the light switch on. Let's make each other better. Your homework is to bring it to light. And if it's too soon, well then let's slowly crawl out. Let's write a journal. Let's ask a friend, hey, by the way, I struggle with sadness, or I struggle with unforgiveness, or I struggle with this, I struggle with that. And let's just do the work. There's y'all's homework. This is longer than I thought it would be. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Next week will be part 2. We'll dig deeper into it. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Lauren Miller __. YouTube, that's So Lauren. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all this. I miss editing videos so bad. I was watching some old ones. I'm like, I'm so much older now. I'm sure I'm so much better. Like, I miss creating thumbnails. I miss adding the cool graphics and zoom in and zoom out and this and that. I miss that so much. I know I definitely want to do it in college, but it's going to be a lot trying to do a podcast and a YouTube. But, I can do it. So give me some time with that. I cannot wait until I can start recording these podcasts, like the visual. That probably means I'll have to be more consistent about actually doing it, not at midnight. Because right now it's 12:08 a.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. So I'll probably have to make a more conscious effort of doing it ahead of time in good lighting so I can shoot the pod for y'all. But I cannot wait until I can shoot the pod, the video and audio, and then shoot the content on YouTube and just rock with y'all. I miss my YouTube days. I miss being able to edit and doing cool ideas like that. And I'm so much older now. I have better technology, and I'm sure we can make that thing work. So give me a little time on that. But yes, thank y'all. Everything has a root, everything has a base, everything has a cause, everything has a start. Figure out what the start is. Figure out how to celebrate those who are being seen if you feel like you're in a space where you're not supposed to be seen. And for those of you who need to be seen but you're hiding things under the dark, come to the light. It's so much better. It's so much freer. Is that a word? Freer? It's so much more free. I don't know if free is a word, but all right. It is. Again, I'm not perfect. There are still things in my mental health that I need to work on, but the little that is out feels like a relief. I will tell you that. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me. This has been That's the Lauren Podcast. This is episode 6. I love y'all so much. I'll see y'all next week.